Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 103 of the Casual Weebs podcast. God damn, are we in full swing in this season? It is so unbelievably good. We have peak on top of peak on top of peak on top of peak. Listen, bro, I'm an idiot. So we've been talking about this here and there for the past couple of weeks, right? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right? Because I just watched it. I was like, yo, this is amazing. You've already seen it. So we've been kind of talking about it and kind of bringing it up. And I brought up a week or two ago. I'm like, yo, I heard that the author has been doing another manga and it's super popular, and that they're running it back with Bones, and it's gonna get animated soon. I don't know the name, but I'm super excited about it. Well, I got the name of it, and we're gonna be talking about it. It is Daemons of the Shadow Realm.
Let's
How
go,
didn't
dude.
we fucking know? You know what I mean? And that's what's funny because we've been glazing this anime last week when we didn't know that, but now that we know, it's I can't unsee it. This is an FMA Brotherhood esque type of anime. It's awesome.
And the art style too. Once I saw
Mm-hmm.
Yuru, it was like, oh, dog, come on. The blonde hairstyle, the blue eyes. I was like, damn it.
The
I
red
should have known
cape, you know
better.
what I mean, with the hood.
Yeah, but immediately was like, I hate to say this, but validates the anime for me. All right,
Yep.
if that's who's working on it, you got an elite top tier studio, an elite top tier author, great art.
Yeah.
Let me just sit back and enjoy this. First, it's 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, 2 episodes.
Really, really good. It feels really different too. It's got shonen vibes, but the whole left and right, becoming spirits and stuff. We don't really know that much backstory yet, but I thought it was an interesting plot. It feels a little different than stuff we're used to. I was impressed.
Dude, same. And for me, I thought this anime is peak already. You know what I mean? I think it's really good. The big question is it going to have the longevity, or is it going to fall off after a couple of weeks? A lot of the animes that start off really good usually end up kind of dying out. You know what I mean? But the fact that we know, the expertise behind this, it's no,
Yeah,
it's gonna be flawless for 12 fucking episodes. We're gonna get another season and another season, and it's just gonna be a masterpiece. It is absolutely incredible. So I loved it. The first 2 episodes I thought were really, really good. I love that now in episode 2 he knows the truth about his sister. You know what I mean? I love how the left and the right kind of were yo, that actually is your sister. We don't have to go and do 12 episodes of is she or is she not his sister? You know what I mean? And him trying to be convinced. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because that gets annoying when she's gonna be oh yeah, I'm your sister. And he's like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? It's I don't want 12 episodes of that. The fact that that was half an episode, if that, all good. You know what I mean? And now he's on the run. You know what I mean? So I cannot wait to go back and look at Asa's group and see, are they really the villains? Because they don't really seem like it. You know what I mean? We kind of thought that at first, because they come with helicopters and soldiers. Kind of seems like the village that Yuru was a part of was kind of the fucked up ones. With that being said, too, he also has that loyalty to the village. You know what I mean? He even said, he's like, yo, I'm not going to order you guys around. You guys are the village's Daemons. It's no, no, no. They're your Daemons, right? Don't be fucking this loyal to the village, bro. They lied to you. They created this weird imposter of your sister, which is a blood demon. You know what I mean? They seem sketchy. So I cannot wait to learn more about Asa's group and also, see the adventure that Yuru's about to go on with his Daemons. That's so sick.
We got a lot of I guess small contextual clues that Dara is a handler for these Daemons, and he's obviously more important to the story than just
Mm-hmm.
Yuru's buddy or his old head. So that was cool. And then Asa also beats the brakes off their grandmother and was like, I'll never forgive you for this, which
Yeah.
means the barrier, the clone of Asa that's still younger. I don't know. I feel like they must have done something to Yuru because I don't know if they say they're twins, but obviously she would be around the same age. She wouldn't just stay a little
No,
girl.
they're
You know
twins.
what I mean?
No, literally, at the very beginning of episode 1, they're both being born.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
how would he see his I don't know, what is she, a toddler, young adolescent sister, and think hold up, aren't we twins? 16, she'd be a little older.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool getting some of those clues, and then also, yeah, I think Gabby, the girl who kind of invades the village with the mouth demon, was chomping on everybody. Yo, he beat that ass. Yuru takes her out basically no diff. I thought that was kind of surprising, but it also shows you Yuru, even without the Daemons, is pretty adept. And
Yeah.
Asa says that he's a hunter, he's protecting the village, he is strong just by himself. So I thought that was cool too.
Bro, she's so sick because it does really give Elric brother vibes. Again, look at the blonde hair, the red hood, it's kind of right there. But also those interactions with her and Asa were amazing. Where it was yo, that's your bro. Your bro's got good aim. You know what I mean? Just got hit twice with arrows, in pain. And she's like, yo, your brother's a damn good shot. I can see the relation. You must be happy he's
Yeah.
alive. It's bro, he was just trying to kill you. He literally, the one arrow to the leg was to get rid of her mobility, and then to the arm, which her dominant arm, he's picking you apart. You know what I mean? So I thought that interaction was so funny, and she was all emotional, oh my god, my brother's alive. He's let's be honest here too. Asa didn't just leave. Her parents took her and escaped. You know what I mean? That's why I'm more like Asa's the good guy and the village is the bad guy. Because like, why are they trying to escape and why do they leave Yura behind? Think about parents. Why would they take one kid and not the other? You know what I mean? So that's what I really want to know. I want to know about the village. I also want to know about Asa's past because he even says like, "You look real mean." She's got like the eye patch and shit. She's like, "The world's not nice," and it's like facts. Like, yo,
He's not lying.
she knows what's up. Yeah, like that's true. So I really like to know like kind of like what happened with everything.
Yeah, and like at the very end of the episode, you see the guys who are like trying to escape the soldiers, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandmother puts the barrier back up. So they're like, I forget the name they give the village, but like the hidden village or like, you can't see it. So at certain times they get trapped there. So
Yeah,
Dara and
they're
Yuru
fucked.
make it out. Yo, that would be a worst case scenario. Yeah, and they definitely, rightfully so, start crashing out once they realize they keep going to the same point. But
Yeah.
that's like a cool little cliffhanger too, to like maybe like a storyline where they are feeding information back, or whenever we revisit the village, you have two people from the outside now on the inside.
Dude, that's what's gonna be crazy too, though, because now Yuru's on the outside. You know what I mean? He's got to get used to like everyday life. Even the Daemons were like, "What is this? What is this thing you have here?" And I love the one driver. It's just like listening to the one guy trying to explain it, like the retainer. I was like, "Dude, like shut the fuck up." There's horses in there. There's horses in there. It goes. It's great. And they're like, "Oh, okay, bet." Like that makes sense. Like, bro, they're gonna be so lost trying to get used to like normal life. I mean, they even said he's like, what do you mean? Like I'm 17. Like I'm. What do you mean I'm 16? I'm 17. He's like, no, they go by like normal counting or whatever. Like they don't even count the same up on the mountain. You know what I mean? Like that's completely
That's like
different.
a It's like a big Asian thing. Like I know they do it in Korea.
Oh really?
Yeah, like with self-proclaimed K-pop fan. They always do it with their age. Like they'll
Mm-hmm.
turn 18, but they'll be like, "Oh, it's my 19th year." Like they would count 0 to 1 as like a year, which it is, but like
Oh, that's probably
they
what the
give
mountain
themselves like
does.
an yeah, like they give themselves an extra year. I guess like it's like the verbiage of it, but yeah, he still really would be considered, I guess, 16, right?
Yeah.
Even though they're like, "Oh yeah, you would be considered 17." It's just weird, but like I know they do that in Korea. I don't think in Japan, but yeah, I find that weird.
Well, that's what's
Here,
cool though, because that follows the trait of like the olden version of time versus the newer reality. You know what I mean? Because like up on the mountain, they don't have
very
like any
true.
high tech shit, so they're counting differently as well. It's more like traditional compared to like the real modern world. So again, that kind of further
True.
shows that clash, which again I think is just so fucking cool and refreshing. Like it's awesome. So far, it's been
It'll
incredible.
definitely, yeah, dude, I love it. I think this is gonna be a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you got a lot of a lot of respect from the author, and
Mm-hmm.
the animation's great. But I think that aspect will give us like some really good comedy. Even just like, yeah, there's horses in here. Like, hop the fuck in. Little stuff like that, like you said, them adapting to like modern life, I think will be really fun.
Bro, one of the Daemons too. I love that when like they're sitting on top of the car and like the other Daemon comes and they're like gods and stuff and they're like, oh my god, like they're celebrities. And the one girl's just like, I sense I can see the difference in treatment. I feel like we're getting mistreated here. Like, we were the gods of your village too, asshole. Start being a little bit
Yeah.
more worshipy to us. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, that was really sick. The scene with the car
Mm-hmm.
moving and the horse like walking on air. I feel like we're gonna see some really, really cool Daemons. And even from what we've seen so far, it feels like very creative.
Dude, it's so awesome. Like I cannot wait to dive more into this. And again, it's more so like the series in itself is amazing. Like amazing start. You know what I mean? It's super promising and great. It's the backing that we now know of. You know what I mean? That just kind of makes it feel a sense of security that like, oh, this is gonna have so much longevity to it. You know what I mean? Because like this isn't the author's first rodeo, you know what I mean? Studio Bones has been here as well. And to be honest, we even talked about it. Anything Studio Bones touches is just kind of peak. Like I feel like we really vibe with that niche that they specialize in. So if Studio Bones is a part of it, we usually love it either way.
I don't even know, like, I'm not like a big genre guy. And even like with music, people are like constantly like
Mm-hmm.
labeling things and putting them in subgenres and stuff. I guess like dark fantasy would fit a lot of the like bone stuff.
Yeah.
Like Bleach, Gachiakuta,
Soul
even
Eater.
this, like, yeah, Soul Eater, perfect example. Like, I guess dark fantasy, but like, yeah, we really lean into that. I think that's awesome. And this definitely feels like that fits that kind of niche perfectly.
Oh,
Even though it's not really niche, those are like legendary anime that a lot of people love.
but they all are similar. You know what I mean? Like if you like one, you'll probably like the other seven. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of cool that like Bones keeps collecting that vibe and it kind of like knows what it does and it does it really well. But speaking of just amazing animes too, I mean, should we switch over to Witch Hat here or Marriage Toxin? Marriage Toxin was a fucking sleeper that came out of nowhere. That was also amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the first episode was a great setup for Marriage Toxin.
Mm-hmm.
Very unique plot line. I thought like just like the interactions were really good. The main character is fucking hysterical, but like he's got some really badass like aura to him.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't even know if we went over this like
Nope.
for the spring look ahead.
Didn't even see
Like
it.
this, yeah, dude, this feels like a total sleeper, but like
Mm-hmm.
really good pilot episode. And I feel like just having like a dude who poisons people is like a really cool MC. Like you can get into some cool situations without like, your typical demons or magic abilities or something like that we're used to.
Bro, like the thing about like Marriage Talks is so cool is that it's all over the place. Because like you're right, he's like so cool that he's like this poison guy, and we saw from the first episode that there's a lot more too than just straight up poisoning. Like yes, he does poison people and they die, but we also saw him inject himself and then put on the gas mask, and then he like was
Oh yeah.
like, dude, the animation of these fights is fucking peak. It is so good. It's awesome, but the guy's also funny and like relatable. You know what I mean? Like his interactions, like
Yeah.
with his sister, and like the conversations they were having. You know what I mean? In the way where he's like, "Yeah, no, you know what? Single life is great. You can just do whatever the fuck you want." But then he's kind of like, he kind of gives in. He's kind of like, "Hey, yo, like, maybe I do want somebody." You know what I mean? And then the way he like interacts too, with the girls at the mixers were just so fucking hilarious. Like this anime is just a beautiful blend of like, okay, we have awesome animation and art where it just looks aesthetically incredible. Like, dude, the opening sequence, like him walking down the street with like the lights, fucking amazing. Like, and he sees that
Yeah.
the dude, it had me like I was like so impressed, and it's so cool
That's
because
so funny.
you also have so much comedy to it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that like they really created where like the two greatest waifus of the season, like actually one's a lesbian, the other's a femboy, and joy boys. It's like it makes it better.
Fire.
It makes it better. A man of culture. You know what I mean? Like they know what's up. So I peak, bro. First episode, peak. Love it.
You wanna know why it's peak?
Why?
Bones, baby. It's done by
Shut the
Bones.
fuck up. Is it actually
Fuck yeah.
Bones?
Bones film.
There's no way. They can't keep getting away with this.
Just cooking, dude. Nah, but I'm with you. I feel like, yeah, May being like a femboy and like a marriage swindler is such a great like way to set up a character. I think it'll be really funny, but like, yeah, there's like really cool badass aspects to it.
Yeah.
I feel like the comedy will be really funny, and
Mhm.
the I guess you could call them like blind dates or like speed dating.
Yeah.
Hikaru is like, thinking like he's at work. He's like, damn, I really shouldn't drink this because I didn't make it. But he's like, things we do for love. And he's like totally convinced he's gonna get fucking poisoned on like this blind date. Super funny.
Dude, his perfect pickup line, like, okay, I did, according to my studies, here's the perfect pickup line. And he's like, hello. But and he says his name, he's like, I make this amount per year. And it cuts to the femboy just being like, screaming like, dude, she recoiled and horror. Like, what are you doing? It's like, holy
So
fuck.
good.
To be fair, though, good looking dude making a couple million a year, like, honestly, it is a good
Tall.
fucking pickup line. Like, it really is.
I'll tell you what, in reality, that it wouldn't
That
take too many
works.
dates to lock somebody down.
Yeah.
Just keep with that strategy, Hikaru. You'll be good. You'll be good.
But dude, you're absolutely right. It is Studio Bones. Yo, Studio Bones is the absolute pillar of the spring season, bro. They are carrying. I'm telling you, bro. Most goated studio around. I fucking love them, and this is insane. This is actually makes it so much better.
Everything gets overshadowed by Mappa and then like UFO Table, which
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did the latest Fate series, which was like,
Mhm.
graphically really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Very hard to follow as per Fate.
Yep.
But if you look at the run Bones has been on with like Thousand Year Blood War from Bleach, Gachi Akuta, you've got a couple really great premieres with Daemons and Marriage Toxin. Like, dude, they're on a fucking roll. Like consistent top level stuff. So, I mean, we've always been a fan of Bones, but definitely nice to see them kind of like leading the charge instead of like Mappa. Not that we don't love Mappa, and they obviously do great fucking work.
Yeah, because, we absolutely adore fucking Hell's Paradise, JJK, Chainsaw Man. Like, let's not act like Mappa's resume doesn't eat. Like, it's
Yeah,
there.
facts.
Mappa's Mappa. But, like, Studio Bones just gets so fucking slept on. To be honest, I looked too, and it's like, it's a 4.7 Marriage Toxin. I don't know why it's so low. Because again, it has all of the makings of a peak anime. It has a really cool and unique story. Well, pretty unique story. You know what I mean? That actually is like really fun to follow along. It's got the action sequences. It's got the comedy. Again, you got two waifus. One's a femboy and one's a lesbian. Like, that's peak. Like, people are gonna be like, this makes it so much fucking better. You know what I mean? And you have this like, it's so like funny mixed with great act. It's like, how? Great studio, great animation and art. It's like, how is it a 4.7, boys? What happened? What did I miss? You know what I mean? There's gotta be something.
And it would be nice, to have the comments on Crunchyroll. But like, I don't
So
know
we
how
can
much
say
of those
that.
reviews come from people who are like manga readers, or if they're like
Mm.
really, just judging it off like the pilot episode, which I think is kind of crazy.
Hmm.
But hopefully, yeah, after like 3 or 4 weeks, it has like a better, more dedicated fan base because I think it'll be like a really, really good sleeper this season.
Yeah, and here's the problem too, and that's why I think not even just the comment sections are important, but if I don't know if you guys remember, but when you click on an anime and you have like the rating here, the first front page wouldn't necessarily be like all the seasons. It would also be all the reviews that you can leave on the anime. So a lot of people there would either give better synopses of what it's about, compare it to other animes to help people be like, oh, would you like this or not? But also like identify, hey, this is why I got review bombed. Because there's an anime I loved, Revenger, thought it was really good. It got review bombed, and I remember seeing that when that still was up, and it was like, yo, this actually isn't like a 4.5. They took forever because of COVID time. The scheduling got really messed up, and they kept delaying episodes, which pissed people off, which got,
Uh,
yeah. So the review, I mean, the rating has nothing to do with the anime, but the production of the studio. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what that kind of stuff, too, was, like, really nice to be like, hey, like, why does it have this rating? So I'm really excited. The only bad part about Marriage Toxin, the only bad thing I can see, it drops on Tuesday. We record on Mondays, we post on Tuesdays. So now we're gonna have to wait until next week to talk about the tomorrow's episode.
yeah, and like we were talking about this in previous seasons, like the Monday bangers are nice, or like
Mm-hmm.
the Sundays when you're just like crushing a bunch of anime. But yeah, Tuesday is like the only bad day because of like the timing of it. But it feels like you're a week behind. But yeah, I'm locked in with Marriage Stocks, and I think
Mm-hmm.
this will be kind of like our sleeper for the season.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think Marriage Toxin is going to be the sleeper of the season for sure. I also think too, like, what would have been nice to have like a second episode is to see if we can get like a more accurate general gist of like the people's perception of it, because like I think that a lot of these animes are gonna start to blow up more as the seasons progress, because then people are gonna see more and more clips and be like, oh, what is this, and like check it out. So definitely I'm excited to see what happens to the rating, or like what people are saying online after the second episode, because again, more people can be watching it. You know what I mean? It has more of a first impression.
Yeah, and again, like we've talked about this, we always try to give something like 3, 4, 5 episodes before
Mm-hmm.
like judging how the start of a season is. It's hard to like really judge something off a pilot. We're like excited about it. I think it was cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to say like I don't know how this will play out with just one episode.
I mean, the thing that I'm most excited for is, like I said, it checks every fucking box. But also, I remember when I first got into Spy Family, I was like, oh, yo, dude, Spy Family's really good. And then there was Buddy Daddies. And everyone's like, oh, dude, don't watch that. That's gay Spy Family. That's all that is. And everyone was like,
Yeah,
it's actually not. You should check it out. It's different. Like, it's not. So I ended up watching it. I'm like, dude, this is actually better than Spy Family, because it was mad funny, but it was more like adult like they cursed in it, you know what I mean? They made like more messed
yeah,
up jokes, so it was just way funnier to me, instead of just like, I don't know, something that feels like it pulls its punches. So Marriage Toxin gives me the same vibe of that like little niche of like Spy Family, of Buddy Daddies, where it's like, okay, you have two people with this kind of confusing relationship, not really confusing, but you can go a lot of different places with it, you know what I mean? And it's like you have this
yeah,
beautiful mix of like normal life, which is kind of just stupidity, which makes it funny because they don't know how to act like normal people, with this other side of they're an absolute fucking badass. You know what I mean? So that little niche is like super popular because Buddy Dads and Spy Family are both huge. Well, mainly Spy Family, but getting another anime in that niche too, I think is really interesting, especially when it's this one where it checks the boxes. It's by Bones. It's like, all right, it's probably gonna be really good.
yeah. Like you said, it's just worth checking out for a few weeks if it does check those boxes, despite like whatever you might read or get spoiled or this or
Yeah.
that, in the wonderful age of the internet. But yeah, very good first episode. I will definitely be there tomorrow for episode 2,
Oh yeah.
and hopefully, like you said, it's easy to get hyped about something, but hopefully it carries through and like you have a good full season. Like we were talking about Sentenced to Be a Hero, like
Yeah.
it was badass, but kind of like plot wise, you're like, all right, it's the same thing over and over. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh shit, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It like makes it worth it to like watch the full season, even if you do feel like, maybe it's getting stale or like repetitive.
Oh, 100%. And again, I'm gonna hit that shit off Spawn tomorrow, because I am so excited to see like where it
Yeah.
goes. You know what I mean? And like, because like it did have a really solid first ep, but everyone really puts a lot into the first ep. So let's see like how much more we kind of get into now. Like I feel like episode 2 is gonna tell a lot about it. But it's so funny, yeah, you bring up spoilers, because we were just talking about how all the massive Wisteria spoilers we've been getting, because of course, season comes out, we have to drop all the manga panels. Fuck you guys, like, bro. All I'm gonna
Yeah.
say is Wisteria is gonna be peak this season, apparently. Which I didn't know that, but I know that. But yo, what also is gonna be is Witch Hat Atelier. Let's talk about like animation. All right, we gotta bring up this anime. You know what I mean? Like the animation in this anime was so unbelievably amazing in episode 3. I am at a loss of words. Like her when she was flying was peak. It was so good. I mean, what do you think about this episode?
I love this episode. I feel like you got some really cool characters. You know, you have like
Mm-hmm.
nice, good teacher Gojo, white hair, blue eyes. He's not like a total prick to his students. So I'm like, huh,
Did you
you know,
know?
nice character trope there.
Did you hear that the fight that started? So apparently, I actually guess we have to apologize from last week's episode. We cannot compare those two to each other because apparently everyone's saying, "Oh my God, guys, this new Gojo, new Go." That's starting a massive controversy where everyone's fucking at each other's throats. Excuse me, this came 2 years before JJK, so actually Gojo's copying him. Motherfucker, it's a fucking basic white haired teacher. That's all it is. What about Dry
Tall,
Sensei? Like, there's a lot of
tall,
them.
white-haired man with
Yup.
blue eyes, and like,
Kakashi.
yeah, unfortunately, like Gojo is just like the most popular look like that, and I like just their
Yep.
personalities feel very different. Like,
Yeah.
um, Coco coming back from the test, which let me not get off
Yeah, yeah.
topic here.
I should have interrupted. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. Really, really cool episode, and
Mhm.
like when she first like gets the hang of flying, and you're
Mhm.
seeing her kind of go through like the struggles of it. It wasn't just like, oh, she picked it up, she's a natural.
Yeah.
She's like crashing into shit, and she's falling, she's like getting wet, falling in the water. It was like very realistic, but it was also beautiful, like how well it's animated.
Yeah.
Um, and like the scene where she kind of figures out this like flying cloak or like hybrid witch broom type thing, like she's
Mhm.
flying. Just like the shot of like the landscape, her face, and like how excited she is, and kind of like the flashbacks with her mom, but then also Kiefer, the teacher,
Yep.
having him kind of like, you know, like his echoes to her, I thought were really well done and animated. And like it's kind of like gives you an idea of what she's thinking. But I mean, so far, super gorgeous, like very visually satisfying. It's also like a really cool story. And I can't wait to see how it develops because she's memorized like one of the foulest, most forbidden sets of magic out there. She just has to learn the basics. She could end up being super OP.
Well, I mean, that's the thing you gotta talk about too, because at the end of the episode, when she passes the test, that crazy witch thing, that villain that they're after, you know what I mean? Even it kind of makes an nod where it's like, oh, it's about to begin. You know, like a seed has finally like sprouted. You know, like it's like,
Yeah,
oh, there is something way more to Coco. Coco is like, yes, obsessed with magic and shit, but she was handpicked for something probably very nasty. So that could mean that there's way more to the story, way more to Coco. So it's gonna be crazy seeing that. But yeah, the fact that people are getting upset about the whole Gojo and comparison shit, like I don't think it's even because Gojo's the most popular. I think it's just because he's the most recent. Because didn't everyone compare
yeah,
Gojo to Kakashi when JJK came out? Like no.
yeah. And it's just like that white-haired teacher figure,
Yeah,
and like,
it's a fucking
you
basic
know,
character.
everybody thinks Gojo's like hot, so that recency
Mm-hmm.
bias is like even stronger, I think. But like he's so easy to compare people to because like Gojo's also 28. He's like
Yeah,
still immature and kind of like arrogant in a way, but like you don't get that from Kiefer. He's very like logical, and he even says this a couple times. Like if Coco were to die on that test, like she wouldn't be the only thing we lost. Like he's clearly trying to get a lead and figure out who
kind of
gave her that book in the
selfish.
first place.
To be fair, it seems like he only really kind of cares because of what she knows and because she's like a string to follow. You know what I mean? Like if that wasn't the case,
He
I
was
don't think he'd
gonna
give a fuck.
No, and he was gonna erase her memories and be like, "Yep,
Mm-hmm.
well, you fucked up. See ya. Erase your
Yeah,
memories. Your mom's gone. Too bad." But then, like, he does kind of like feel compassion for her. But that also comes from Coco's like obsession with magic, and like
yeah.
now she wants to kind of make things right, but also learn how not to do this again. So
Mm-hmm.
like Kiefer, yeah, was did not really intend for her to be the apprentice, but it was like, wow, this is a good opportunity for me, and she'll basically listen to me, and she's an asset. So it kind of
Yeah.
worked out for both.
Dude, I agree. Like, I think he's awesome. I think that this story is fucking so good so far, so too. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. Like the one girl who's kind of like, all right, yeah, like let's put you up to this. Apparently, she's getting a lot of hate too. Of course, you know we've talked about this. When an anime's popular, it gets these dumb fights again, where people are arguing about the whole Gojo thing, and Crunchyroll even stepped in on that. And it's like, oh, people hate the other girl. Well, apparently, like the other girl, like give her time to develop. Apparently, like I think they might become friends or something. But either way, it's like you guys see one episode of her, and people are like, "Yeah, she fucking sucks. Hope she dies off." Type of shit. It's like I think that there's gonna be
yeah.
more to it. I think she's a really basic character. Like, okay, here's the thing: we're also, I think, always like fans of those characters because it's the same thing with what, like Sion or Sion, in Wistoria, where he's like the asshole who
Yeah.
bullies Will, and we're like, no, 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 give him a shot, give him a shot. This is our like Sasuke, okay? Like he's gonna come through. And low key, last season at the end of it, like he came through. Like he was kind of a fucking beast. So like we were right. Like give him the chance. I think it's the same thing here, where like her past with magic is kind of like traumatic, where she kind of like thinks that like you really need to like deserve it to be here type of thing, and it's kind of not from a level of entitlement, but a level of like safety too. So I think she's like kind of caring. She's just really bad. She's Tsundere. You know what I mean? She's like not good at showing it.
Now you're so right. And like at first I was like, damn, she's like trying to get her killed,
Yeah.
Coco. Like, oh yeah, yeah. While the teacher's away, why don't you just fucking go do this test, even though you don't know anything about magic? But
Mm-hmm.
like, you're right. It's more from an aspect of safety and like Agate, I think is her name. She was also like, I did this at 10 years old. Like, you'll be fine. Go do it. And like, kind of trial by fire. Like, if you're cut out for this, like, you'll find a way to go get this fucking flower.
Yeah.
Even though it was like the hardest time to complete the tests and all that. Like, it was still a good benchmark to be like, does she really have what it takes to be an apprentice?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, she's like Sasuke or like like we love those tropes like Sasuke. I think Neji from Naruto, you know,
Yeah.
he beefed with Naruto forever, and then it was like they end up being like the best of buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Oh,
like a bunch of different
Veggie,
examples
bro.
of that. That's a real one right there.
Oh, that was too much, bro. Come on.
That was like the first name that came to mind. But like those relationships, I feel like always
Mm,
are like super popular with fans, but also like bolster a story.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if it was just this episode or it's the actual opening. Like the book starts unfolding and it's literally Coco and Agate. Like I don't know if they're like going to grab each other's hands or like there's something in the middle, but like they're clearly a huge focal point of the story,
Mm-hmm.
at least from that like visual they gave us. And Kiefer says it too. Like we've grown up around magic, we've seen magic our whole lives, we've used magic our whole lives. Like it's a part of us. Coco just likes it. She doesn't know anything about it. I mean, you got to think she's only seen spells done like a handful of times,
Mm-hmm.
especially outside of what she's done. So like that's I think a good like way to say like yeah, Agate knows and the other ones do. So like take your time. You know what I mean? Don't rush into it. And that's absolutely what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see if they're like, all right, you can hang, like you pass that test with no help or like information, like maybe she really is legit. Maybe she'll get like a little bit more credibility, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I think this could be cool too because they're roommates. You know what I mean? So like it seems like the rooms are
Oh,
kind
that's
of like
right.
in the study as well. Like they kind of have like a downstairs to the room, like the upstairs like their little workshop. So the fact that they're like gonna be like kind of like indirectly working together, you know what I mean? And like she's super smart, you know what I mean? So like Coco's gonna be able to like feed off of that, where it's like, oh hey, what are you
Yeah,
working on,
true.
and kind of like learn from her, which I think is gonna be huge.
And you got that scene where she's like thinking of her mom and she's like, well, I might not be good at writing sigils and doing magic, but like I'll use a tool that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of makes it close to home and then pulls it off. It was like, damn, she's resourceful, she's smart. Like Coco is definitely legit. But it'll be cool to see their relationship. And like you said, if Coco's really feeding off Agate and like how much she ends up learning
Mm-hmm.
from her, I'm definitely into it. I think this is like, I think it was trending
Mm-hmm.
in the US for Crunchyroll. So I think it'll be like very popular. It'll have like a really good season. So that's a good thing. Also, when I watch this show, I'm just like, damn, reality's like kind of ass. Like we have like basic ass apartments. Like their study is cool as shit.
Yeah.
Like the little, she sees like visage, I guess, of her mom like going back in the house. It was just like, damn, these places are cool. Like, I wish I lived in like some magical fucking land like that. My fucking boring ass apartment. Again, it just goes to show you like how cool the art is, and like the point of views they give you in Witch Hat is really really cool. I
Mm-hmm.
think it adds to kind of like the visual satisfaction you get from watching it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be cool too as we move on here because it's like it took 3 episodes, but it's kind of like Coco's now like finally in. You know what I mean? Now we're really gonna be getting into like magic and onto the story. You know, it's like the initiation is kind of like over. So like next episode 2, I'm really excited to see like where it goes and like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll have a better sense of direction. Which like
Mm-hmm.
we always say that for the beginning of like any season, all these animes like they gotta kind of find their way and like you're a new viewer, so you gotta like just like ride it out, like enjoy the ride. So I think we'll have a good idea what's kind of going on, and they're very like upfront with the whole mystery aspect with like Keyfree, the Great Hall Witches,
Mm-hmm.
like that's definitely a focal point. So I would imagine we'll be trending in that direction and we'll get more information.
Oh yeah, especially with like getting to know the other witches because like since like we like make videos on this stuff, I look up the characters a lot to make sure I'm getting spellings right and getting character names right. And of course, that's the worst possible thing to do because what's going to happen is it's going to show you every fuck ass character in the entire anime, which sometimes spoils a ton. So like when I looked up some of the characters for Witch Hat, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there was just a ton of witches, and it kind of showed like the different levels of witches. So like it seems like the anime is really gonna dive into that aspect of things, and hopefully sooner rather than later. So I think that's really cool. And she even said she's like, hey, you know, you can always live here, and you don't have to like come back and forth. And he's like, I'm good. So it seems like with Keyfree and like the other witches, there's something there. You know what I mean?
Like a rift almost, because yeah,
Yeah.
he like immediately like dismisses that, like, yeah, no, I'd live here if I wanted to. I'm definitely good. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's such a far way to go for like even the littlest of things, and I don't even think he says anything. So it was like, ooh,
Yeah.
cold shoulder. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
Keyfree does not fuck with them, even though like they seem friendly. It might be what do you want to call it? Like the higher powers that be in this like witchcraft world. Maybe they don't fuck with Keyfree, or he knows like something more. Obviously he does, but like we don't know that yet.
I mean, the thing is too is that Keyfree, you know, kind of seems like he's a goody two shoes because he's got a British accent. But let's not forget that like he's doing some shit that's gonna piss people off. Like he brought someone into their world that's very frowned upon. You know what I mean? Someone who like isn't allowed to be there. He took on an apprentice without doing the apprentice test. He's like, oh, like you're no apprentice. Like, well, not technically yet because like she didn't do the test. But it's like, well, why are you going there to get her stuff as if she is? You know what I mean? He pretty much brought an outsider and that knows fuck all about magic. Was like, hey, I'm gonna trust you with the secret, and I'm gonna make you an apprentice without following any of the procedures. Now, the other person, you know, put her through the trial by fire, and it ended up working out. But his intention was never to have her do that and still be an apprentice anyway. So I can kind of see how like people who are strict on procedure and rules and tradition would hate him. Like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like it'll be really cool to see how they like navigate the story and like how other things play out. But I'm really excited for it. I think this has kind of lived up to the hype,
Mm-hmm.
like the preseason hype, I guess, of Witch Hat. Very cool, good characters, gorgeous animation. Even if you just watched it like casually, I think the animation makes it worth it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. It's absolutely insane. Dude, the season's been phenomenal. It's been so good.
Shout out to the brush buddy. We love a good familiar in some of these fantasy things. I saw that and I was like, it's not a cat, it's not some spirit or like a
Yeah.
woman that changes. You know, I love you, brush buddy. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Great addition to the team.
Dude, I that was the second I saw it, I was like, "Yo, is this gonna follow us like around for the rest of the series?" And it seems like that is the case. So that is awesome. I'm hyped about that. But yo, the season has been absolutely incredible. It has been insane. Like we haven't even talked about Clash Movie Lead or Wistoria. They are gonna be peak this week. Well, not this week, this season as well. I cannot wait to talk about them next week. But with that being said, we hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. We hope you guys are excited. And if you haven't watched any of these animes, you should give them a try because they are cooking, the season's cooking, and Studio Bones is for sure fucking cooking. Like,
The goats, baby.
the
Shout
goats.
out Bones.
But anyways, that is it. Later, guys. See you next week, and peace.